Okay, thank you, Professor Pu. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Firstly, I thank the invitation of Professor Shibing and Professor Tang Chaoshen for the attending this very the international conference about the ISEG, so that it's my honor to give a lecture here. And I am in my research area, I always research on the landslide related to the water pressure driven landslide, such as but the rainfall, the water can be divided into seven states, such as the liquid and also the ice. Ice can also glaciers and also can be changed to the water. So that in the 3 years ago, I attended the project in the Sichuan-Tibet railway in the Qinghai-Tibet plateau. So that today for the this is the topic of this conference, so that today I will give a lecture about the precision about the temperature, about related to the climate change and the soil, and also the characteristics related to the marine soil in Tianmo Valley. This work was performed by a group, including me and also my group, such as listed, and also some colleagues in Chengdu, such as Wang Jiao and Dr. Chen Xiaoqing. This is the outline of my presentation and 5 parts. First, introduction, and second is the research method. Third is the strengths characteristics. And fourth is the multi-phase company research. The last is the conclusion, discussion and conclusion. This is the first. As we all know, that is the global climate change is affected in many areas. One of the very serious region is the Qinghai-Tibet region. This region, as just see the left pictures, that we can say that the climate and the glaciers ever have decreased, or that is have influence on the climate change. And also another thing that we should say that in 2019, starting from that the Sichuan to Tibet railway from Chengdu to Lhasa, that is the construction across this region. So that from the map provided by Professor Cui, that they have many glacier area, so that they have many challenges about this. So that our group that is focused on the marine soil in Tibet plateau, so that this will be have threatened to the construction of the Sichuan-Tibet railway. This is the pictures we can see that nearby the Bomi and the Tongmai and also Ranwu. This is region of the Padongzang River. Padongzang River have many the marine soil. The summer of landslide or debris flow, that is Tianmo Valley here, and the Ganong Valley is here, and Midui here. Last year in 2021, in May of 2021, I need my group have the field trip, field investigation in this region, and to draw a map of engineer geology plan of Tianmo Valley, just to see these pictures. And a number of major geohazards related to marine soils have been documented. Just the way I have shown this, these 3 case studies. One is in 1992, and another in 2018, and the latest one is 2021. And this is so that many objects have the marine soil geohazard occur in this region. Different forms of ice are distributed in the design region, and during the investigations, we have conducted a very detailed site investigation. The left is we use the satellite images. We divide into different parts of the Tianmo Valley, the source area, and the calculated area, and also the accumulated area. And this is my the upper here. I take a picture. And this is another important finding that in the Tianmo Valley, always we can see that the soil is just the ice are covered above the soil. But sometimes we can see that sometimes the ice are mixed with the soil together, and the ice have two very obvious different types. One is the crushed ice, just these pictures. My mouse can show the crushed ice. Another is the block ice. This can be found in the Tianmo Valley. This can be found in the Tianmo Valley. This is another. So that in the following research, we can focus on the crushed ice and also the block ice about the marine soil's characteristics. The research method that is just we have seen the first is site investigation along the Bomi, along the Panzang River. We have conducted a series of investigation such as the Yigong, landslide, Tianmo Valley, Wuxiang Valley, Kano Valley, and Yidui Valley. So, and this is the research group, part of the group member together. And this is the entrance of the Tianmo Valley. And this is the entrance, this is the part of the Kano Valley and the Wuxiang Valley. And this is the upper area of the source area of the Kano Valley with glacier area. And the right one is the Tianmo Valley with glacier area. Also, we have conducted some institute test. Institute test is very important to get some of the real data that is for the labor test or the further studies. So that the first is we have connected some institute CPG test. That is, this is we want to investigate the CPG test of the marine soil. Another is we have connected the site earth temperature test. Because the temperature is varied from different depths, so that we during the investigation, the work condition is very hard, is harsh. Water is very cold, and we use the UV investigation equipment together to help us. But the temperature is very cold, so that we connecting some equipment from the entrance and to the source area is very difficult. And during this, I also was connecting the sampling location. Samplings here, just to see the right images. We have connected 100 kilometers the marine soil from the site. And also, we use the equipment. The tested equipment is very important. This was conducted in Chengdong. This is the form of ice. I just mentioned. One is the crushed ice, another is the block ice. And we use the equipment in the Chengdu. That is where daughter with the help of Dr. Wang Jiao and Dr. Chen Xiangqing. We work together with the equipment. This equipment test, tri-X test that can be considered temperature, both temperature and also the stress and also the seepage together. So that we have considered the form of ice and the dynamic temperature and also the seepage caused by the melting ice. This is the test soil and samples. One is the next is the sampling with crushed ice. The next is the sample with block ice. This is the block of ice and that's mixed together. The third part is about the space characteristics. We have done two kinds of tests. One is the stress strain curves and the tri-axis consistent strain rate test. We every test compared with the crushed marine soil and also ice with marine soil, and another is the block ice with marine soil. And we can see that different forms of ice in soil surface lead to different pattern of stress strain curves. And also the strength parameter parameters of samples with two different forms of dance. We can see that the sample with crushed ice, this is red, and the samples with block ice, this is blue. So that the blue is higher than all the samples with crushed ice. Another is the fair patterns of soil samples after the CSR test. That is, the next is the samples with crushed ice. Just because the crushed ice with mixed with marine soil almost similar to the homogeneous sample, so that the next one. But if with the mixed with the block ice, that will be some different, such as we have seen. After fair, we can see the block also because the ice block have a very high strength. And also we collected the pore pressure in the CSR test. The crushed ice was more vulnerable to melting upon loading block ice. That is this so that during the test process, the ice melting into the water, so that they have different kind of seepage and also the pore pressure. The first part, I will talk about the multi-field company research. Actually, that the test I just mentioned about, that the test we can conduct with the temperature, consider temperature and stress, and also the pore pressure, so that we can conduct the extra. We can compare with the thermal mechanical test together. And we can see from this is the test result, we can see that a higher lead level had a remarkable impact on the mechanical behaviors of soil samples as the ice melt. And there have seen some very serious, very obviously threshold point, infection point. And two characteristic parameters under very stress levels, we can see that the average, the left one is the average, the acceleration rate, and the right one is the infection temperature. So that we have done a lot of tests, so that the test rules are very relatively good. And also we have done the pore pressure in the CTM test. That is, in this test, we can necessarily use the sample with crushed ice, and that is the sample with block ice. We have some different patterns together. And the stress, and we have also tried the three geophysical tests together. That is stress, temperature, and seepage carbon test together. It's always do the stress temperature test before for the some kind of similar soil, but the three kind of together, that is stress, temperature, and seepage carbon, that is maybe very difficult, and we have tried many tests, and we succeeded to do the test. And then this is the sampling with the crushed ice, the fair, and also the sampling with block ice is the right one. Last, I'll give the discussion and the conclusions. That is the influence of ice form on the strength of marine soils have very different features. So that the sampling with the crushed ice, we can with crushed ice, that is always almost like the same, like the homogeneous marine soil, because this is the left one. But the trace of the shear formation of the ice block ice, that will be quite different. And we can see they have a very serious the age of the ice block of the test. This is very here containing block size was of higher strength than that of soil with crushed ice. This is the test. Just this is the graph, the curve we had present before, and also the large ice blocks can undertake part of the load at night. And also the influence of temperature rise on the strength, and we can see they have a very just we have mentioned about, they have an infection point here. This is the before the infection point, they have always the very steady, but after the infection, very sharply grow up, so that there exists a threshold for the node applied.
Professor Lee, you have about 4 to 5 minutes left.
Okay. Thanks for mentioning. Yeah. There is the threshold for the node applied on these samples, below which the soil samples would not collapse even though the interlaced ice completely melted during the heating process. This test is also the first time with the stress temperature and seepage combined together. This is for the marine soil. And also, we talk about the influence of the meltwaters on the negative behaviors. The samples from the crushed ice, this is the left one, and the right one is the samples with block ice. We have seen some very different features. We can it's noticed that in the right one we can, because the blocks of ice blocks are in different depths of them, we have seen some holes. The holes locations are the left positions of the block ice. A comparison of the spring rate and the continuous time between the samples with different ice forms again demonstrate a higher magnetic property of the sample containing block ice. And also I need with my 3 graduate students investigation in the Tianmo Valley, and this is nearby the 318 road, national road, and this is the Panzang River. This is Tianmo Valley, and the upper is glacier. And finally, I will go a very short conclusion. The first is that based upon the site investigation, the CIRS test and CPM test were collected to investigate the stress of marine soil with different ice forms, and its magnetic behaviors and the different combined influence of trace in the stress and temperature. The second is that the stress strain curves of samples with crushed ice and block ice are different. One is the strain hardening behavior, and another is strain softening model. And the strength of the sample with the block ice is higher than that of the corresponding sample with crushed ice, which is mainly affected by large collagen strings. Third one is that through the thermomechanical company experiments, we found that there is a threshold stress. When the stress applied to the sample is above the threshold, the temperature rises play a dominant role. Last is the infection temperature is linearly related to the axial stress. For marine soil, that is sustains a higher level of load and is more sensitive to the range of ambient temperature fluctuation. And also, this work I have published in the Geotechnology in the spring of 2020 this year. So that if you are interested, maybe you can hope to see this paper in detail. Thanks for your attention. Thank you. Thank you.